Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Munel Kishen, the General, and few hours from now, not eating, maybe when June 6th and January 6th, January 6th, we will be coming out to express our right to protest. I know people might not like it, but the real truth is that it is our right to protest. It is our right to protest. We must hold this government accountable. We must stand up. If we don't, we will be having a serious problem come 2023. Yes, we agree that we have to change the title, but we all know it was just a saying. You can't stop people from saying that Joshua should step down. There's no way you can stop people from saying that. It is our right. It is not a coup. You can express yourself that he should step down. There's nothing wrong with it. There is nothing wrong with that. But this president really don't want to listen. And what baffles me is this president pretends to be a pastor. But I tell you, when you look into the Bible, there are a lot of things in the Bible that's supposed to teach him. Wisdom is right in the Bible. The wisdom is right in the Bible. If this president was smart enough, you would look. When you look in Proverbs 29:12, it said, if a leader listen to falsehood, all his officials will be wicked. Because this president listened to false information. That is what he believed in. That is what he liked. Information should be wrong. He loved to gossip. He loved to gossip. That's how I understand that. Because you cannot be a leader of a nation and you try to pick and choose. And you try to pick and choose. They say when the leader don't have vision, the nation perish. The nation will perish. Definitely. There is nothing there that we can survive on. Nothing. And I've been listening to a lot of people. I've been listening to people from CDC. And we all saw the letters from the post that came from Chief Siri Allen. Everybody is speaking the truth. Everybody is saying it. Everybody giving this president his advice. They're giving their honest opinion that this president should act as a leader. We all know that the president is incapable. We all know that. But I will say this all the time, that Joshua is the most successful Liberian, which I would not take from him. But he's a bad leader. That is why Liberia is into this mess. We have never, ever experienced such a thing. The government is their own enemy. But sometimes we say Liberians are their own enemies. But the government of Joshua government, they are the one that's shooting themselves in the foot. They are the one that's stopping investors from coming to Liberia. They are the one pushing people away. They are the same one and breaking the division. Look, if you go back and listen and watch the tape of the president New Year's Eve church service where he preached again, not this one, 2019 New Year's Eve, no, 2018 New Year's Eve into 2019, that church was overcrowded. People were all over the place. Now, look at 2019 New Year's Eve into 2020. The place was empty. You could count who all was in that church. This president don't have eyes to see that his popularity have gone. This president went at the stadium. The stadium where you had thousands of people sat and watched him. Thousands of people were there watching him. Thousands. Oh. Joshua was on that field. The whole world made history. It was not for Liberia alone. The first soccer player ever in the history of the world that became president. The first African soccer player. You look there, you see him with his wife. When I say wife, I mean they're actually going out, but they are married, so he cannot criticize her. He considered her as his mom, which is not bad, but hey, she was the leader at the time, a very wicked woman, a woman who did a lot of stuff, but she used Joshua, and because he don't know, today he's using himself. Now he's using himself. The Joshua we knew those days, the man with the smile, everybody saw this young guy, everybody saw him. The young people, they saw themselves in Joshua. People thought that because Joshua made it in soccer, so he would bring Liberians together. He would unite the country. People saw themselves in them. But I want to take this time to say, don't never blame yourself for what you did. And Sandy, you can't blame yourself. You voted for him, thinking that he will make the difference. You campaigned against him, and during the senatorial race, it's because Liberian people love him. That's why he won. But you had a very good campaign, and I like the stand that he took. He supported Joshua in the second round. But listen, if you're into any organization and you think it's not working well, it's better for you to get out than to stay there and mess up yourself. To stay there and mess up yourself. It's wrong. You can't do that. But other people chose to be there until Joshua can maybe find them something to do. But it's disgraceful. Liberians, you need to come out on June 6th. You need to come out on June 6th. No matter what happens. If you don't show up on June 6th, understand that Joshua will steal the 2023 election, and you will do nothing about it. Nothing you're going to do about it, I'm telling you today. Because the game that they are playing, you think that other people playing the game, they're playing the games on you. They're playing it. Because they say, well, let them protest. When they get tired, they will leave the street. Let them protest. When they get tired, they will leave the street. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's okay. Why President we are treating Liberians the way he treating them? Why? I listened to Costa the other day. Why go to Tropicana Beach and raid the place? Go to a court, get a fake search warrant, and go to a businessman where they got thousands, they got hundreds of Liberians working, and you arrest them. You see some of the things that we campaigned against Joshua for, and that was one of my main topic, that there will be no freedom of speech, no freedom of the press in the We Are government. Because I know the individual we're talking about. I know the individual. This man, he don't have the heart. He don't take criticism. He don't want for no one to criticize him. Even if it's a good criticism, he will not take it. I know some people don't like him when we're talking about Joshua, but this whole thing is about Joshua. The whole Liberia episode is about Joshua. Joshua got 100% support from his own government. No representative asking him question. He want to print money. They say, go ahead, Mr. President, you can print the money. Money got missing. No investigation from the House, neither the Senate. he infused $25 million into the economy. Nobody complained. The judiciary is in his pocket, the Senate and the House. So why Joshua is not doing his work? Why? The people that are around Joshua, they are not friends. They are all opportunists. We know everybody loves to capitalize, to make use of the opportunity around it. But if Samuel 12 was a good friend to Joshua, with the tension that going on, he would look at Joshua and say, listen, Mr. President, I think I will step aside. If I'm the problem, I will step aside. But you think he cares? He will not. And Joshua will not remove him because of the dirty deeds that he been in. But every day you're accusing other people about bribery and whatsoever. The last I could remember in the 12 years Ellen was president, CDC protests, every week with no permit. And I'm saying it, I'm not here to satisfy the ears of seditions. CDC, you are dead. Your party, nobody going to ready. I see a lot of guys on Facebook that are trying to really fight for this government. You only speaking to seditions who are that high. You're not talking to me. You're not talking to no new person. We know. Look, unless we're stupid, but we are not. You into the bubble. You the one still believe in a fantasy world that Joshua is the best. So, you not getting no new support. I see Randy, well, I don't even let him call him because for him, he supported Joshua, he cursed Joshua, he came out and said Joshua was a crook. You think by criticizing somebody because you wanted something. I criticize Cummings, but I don't need Cummings in my life. Cummings need me. When I say he need me, not for him to survive, but he would need my support. But I don't need Cummings. I'm not looking for a job. But a lot of people here, they ran around who did. If you tell me you know Joshua from 2009, then you and me know Joshua. If you're telling me that you got into Liberian politics in 2009, then you're a label. Anybody telling me that they got into Liberian politics 2009, my first time to vote in Liberia was 1985. I'm not a member of no political party. And I will not put nobody over Liberia. Liberia come first. If we can't stand up, I don't have to be in Liberia to speak. I don't have to be in Liberia. That's what made the world so nice. Technology. If Baco Matthews, all the guys had this opportunity, they won't, by this time, Liberia change. By this time, Liberia would be on the map. If the old guys had such a thing, Samuel Doe won't be killing people in the night. Charles Taylor won't be slaughtering people in the night. You understand? But this is the time, and that's it. We're making use of it. So I don't have to be in Liberia to say I got to protest. No, I don't have to. If you say that I'm supposed to be in Liberia, that means you're a stupid fool. If anybody say I saw some fool, I'm not going to waste time with no one anymore. I'm not here to convince you. I'm speaking my mind, and I'm speaking what within me. In life, if you don't stand for something, history will hold you tomorrow. Because I want for my children to walk in the street and say, if I don't live to see it, they will say Munel stood up for something. Most of you guys don't know Joshua. Most of you guys don't know. You know him from a distance. And when you know someone from a distance, it's easy for you to lie for them. Whatever information they give you. But I know him. I don't have to be a rocket scientist. I know him more than any sedition here. Because we sat down, we talked. He sent for me when you guys were not even around. And we spoke, we talked, we said some things. You see, that is why when he became senator, I gave up on him. So you think we thought by making him senator, he was coming to learn something. But hey, in politics, when it comes to elections, it's not about your resume. It's not about your resume. You don't have to go and get PhD when it comes to elections. You don't have to go and get no master's degree. You don't have to get no BSc. Nothing in the Constitution telling that you got to get BSc or get what's up. But at least you should know something. You should get little ideas. You should know leadership. You should have that ability to make decisions, and you can stand by it. Because being president of Liberia is good and bad. You will hurt people. You'll be okay with some people. But in life, you got to be very smart. You don't think with your heart when you're in public servants. When you're serving the public, you don't think with your heart. You think with your head. That means you will not be afraid to talk to people. You will not be afraid to tell people the truth. But nobody, everything you're hearing today with the recording of tapes and whatsoever, these are the things that sedition come up with. These are the things that they spoke on. You get Eugene Falcon. He will be the next person that might bring his tape up. Eugene Falcon come to America. He speak to all his friends how the president don't listen. Eugene Falcon said that the president do not listen. He do not listen. When was the when was the last time for Eugene Falcon to sit in front of George Weah and say, Mr. President, I think we need to do it this way? When he said that nonsense about when he was talking about his president the other day concerning the salary harmonization, he was so afraid. He went home and said people wanted to kill him. You think Maggie going to tell Charles and George Weah anything? No. And I want to make this thing clear. Nobody going to bring war. If you think the international community knows the right of Liberian, they know our rights. They know our rights. This country that we live in, they know what it means when a citizen, and look, citizen willing to protest and ready to protest. And let me make you understand, no country stands with dictator. The days of dictators are going away. No country in the world will stand with a dictator. The international community will not stand with you. They know exactly what's going on in Liberia. But because Liberians are not standing up for themselves, Liberians need to stand up. They need to stand up to the government. You want the citizen to vote. Oh, but you don't want it to check. You don't want it to check you what you're doing. Voting for you ain't mean that you got everything that you will just use them. No. And even in the Bible, I will find that part. In the Bible where it says, if the man who amongst you got the greatest person take over a leadership, that person is a servant. He should be a servant to you. You dare to serve. You there, the people never elected you for it to serve you. That you all over the place, enjoying yourself, having fun time. Every cash you go to your house, you see all the money just sitting there. Everybody knows how African president behave. When Joshua was not president, Joshua never traveled on a private jet. He never chartered no flight. But you guys overrate this young man, make Joshua. In fact, I was in a business place, and okay, I promise not to call that name. One of the same sedition, always on Facebook, always start to admit to a lot of stuff, but hey, he got to still defend George Weah. He got to still defend George Weah. Now, you say, oh, we want to take George Weah out because we say he should step down. Yes, George Weah need to step down. That's my right to say he need to step down. For the sake of Liberia, he need to step down. This young man will not change. This young man, there's something around him, I think, that holding him. But you know, where is Doe? Where is Charles Taylor today? So if you guys think that George Weah are going to be there for the next 20 some more years or 12 years, it's fine. He will still leave. And you don't know who will be the next president. We don't know the next president. But I know the next president of Liberia will be very tough. I can tell anybody that. The next president of Liberia will be very, very tough. Law and order. And he will be the first president. And they will be the first official for government to try. So let them go around be stealing money. The other day, you know, when I would say there's no secret among George Weah men. They were at the same place hanging up, and George Weah told Eugene Nangbe, he said, the people want Twe and Maggie. If anything happens, we got to go Dubai. because they get Bashir in Dubai. So we'll go to Dubai and go enjoy ourselves. We'll stay there. Josh, we are plan is to go to Dubai in case of anything when you want to leave. Because they believe that when you go to Dubai, nobody can take you from there. But listen, let us be careful. The war is changing. You can run unless your country don't need you. But you can go anywhere. If they really want to get you, they will take you from there. Liberia is not no superpower. Liberia not no superpower to America that America cannot take you from anywhere when we pressurize them to. They will do. You don't know who the next president. But we need to come out and protest. Liberians, you need to come out and protest. You need to come out and protest. And let me make you guys understand. You think because someone was in America, we're in contact with Liberia 24/7. With Liberians and whosoever. We got our mindset is in Liberia. We're not looking for government job. We want to be in that country to invest, to do our other things. Let us have a level playing field. Not to just be imposing taxes. Sierra Leone said it. The protest was the best ever. It shut down the government for one day. Nobody come in the street. But Liberians, you need to stand up to Joshua. If you don't stand up to Joshua, forget it. Forget it. Joshua will steal the election 2023, and you go in the street to protest. You will not protest. Some of us, whether you're lucky or not, will continue to speak out. But we're not going to stand there and be waiting for Liberia, because if you guys don't come out and protest, that let Joshua see the masses again. Maybe this time around, he might learn some senses. If you don't do it, it's up to you. We will sit on Facebook. We'll continue to build up the case. We'll continue to criticize him. We'll continue to make that case. But you guys will stay there and will say, yes, you're enjoying. Because if you think you're enjoying this government, then fine. You don't need to protest. Protests don't bring war. Protests got nothing to do with war. Unless this government want to kill the innocent people who will be in the street with nothing in their hands. They're not going to Joshua's house. They're going to Capitol building to assemble. Assemble is not marching. It's not marching the street of Monrovia. They are going to assemble to express themselves, to petition the government for good governance. 1979, April 14, war came to Liberia when we had a protest, when we had a riot? No. There was no war. But nowadays, bunch of guys, and let me tell you what the Bible says about people who support, I'm not a pastor, but I came across it, and I'll pass if anybody want to challenge me. What the Bible says about people who support bad governance. You support bad governance, God punish you too. It's just like you coming up to say, oh yeah, I will support gay. You should understand that God going to punish you. God going to punish you. And this is what they say here. I will say, read again in Proverbs 29:12. If a leader listen to falsehood, all his officials are wicked people. Very, very wicked. The Bible tells us about people who speak for the voiceless. Yes, the Bible tells us that. People who speak for the voiceless. God bless you. So that is why God continues to bless Henry Costa. You might say everything you want to say about Henry Costa. I differ with him sometimes when he's speaking, but he's an honest guy. And I'm still waiting to see, for someone that will come out to say, Henry Costa took money from me to blackmail me. And all the education we got, we still don't know the meaning of blackmailing. We still don't. Everybody just oh yeah, Costa is a blackmailer. Blackmail, it don't have to be money. When I get information about you, I can either need and try to get a favor or get cash or something and tell you that if you don't do this, I will do this. I will expose it. In America, it's a crime. Blackmailing is a crime. But when Henry Costa got the information, he exposed it. That's what he's doing. That is what he do. That is his job. In America, they'll call it sometimes whistleblower. Every information that Henry Costa published on the internet, the government never argued about it. The government never cried about it. Only surrogates of George Weah and CDC will go on Facebook and start to lie. Start to lie. I have never one day listened to Gilmer, Yaya Sharif, Prince Sharif, and the other guy who just came back. After Joshua promised him something and he never got it, he said, Samuel 12 called him and said, oh, man, you my friend. You putting friend over country. You're not a patriot. You come on Facebook and tell the people how you're an engineer. Look, you make $10 million is for yourself. They say, Albert Payne, he said, whatever you do for yourself, it dies with you. But whatever you do for others, it will remain as immortal. So you can come and say, oh, I got this one. And you come on Facebook and insulting people. They are vampires. They are zombies. They are this, they are that. Why would I disgrace myself right now with all the bad news on CDC that I must make a case for CDC? You stupid. Anybody who making case for CDC right now, they are stupid people. Stupid, I mean you don't have sense. You might get the 5 senses, but you don't use it the right way. I'm not using a words there that will make people to think that I'm just insulting. Yes, they say it all over. If you're not using your senses wisely, you hearing everything. The chairman of CDC spoke. Forget about the recording. This man spoke and said that right after Joshua was announced. Okay, that's the recording. He spoke. He said, Mr. President, we want you to fight corruption. We want you to stop flying private jets. We want you to talk to every Liberian. Talk to the other side. We want you to get everybody involved. We want you to stop blaming. And let me tell you today, as much as sometimes we complain about so many guys, they know that's the time. That's the time. That's their time to be in charge. And sincerely, some of them really wanted CDC government to be better than alien government. But because of the leadership, we told y'all. We said it every day that the man you taking to be president, he's a con artist. You have seen Cobra? When you see Cobra in the yard, you think it's a yard snake. Yes, green snake in a green grass. That's it. Or man who pretends because you don't know him, but his DNA is in the money. It's in the money. He don't refuse nothing. He takes nothing serious. So I feel sorry when I see some of the names, people who don't know about CDC, talking about Joshua. Joshua worth $83 million. Joshua worth $87 million. Oh, Joshua got the right to build a house because he's a rich guy. Oh, Joshua did this. He paid this other person's school. He went in the Budubran camp. He did this. But we see nothing on record. Joshua, we got Joshua videotape from the day he went to Tonel. When he and Kofi Abre were on Tonel club team. They got video. Joshua got every video that when he entered Liberia, journalists were with him. Joshua go to Ghana, people behind him. How can Joshua go in a refugee camp and nobody got a story about it? How can Joshua went to Liberia, he did things for people and nobody got record on it? The people just saw themselves in this boy from Gibraltar. This boy who people give false information about. Yes. Who himself giving false information about himself. We just saw it on Facebook with LBS. This president, even this New Year Eve, that's the one that got to me when they said the president giving his year-end message. Who you gave your year-end message to sedition, and you use the pulpit, blasphemy, use the pulpit to throw hymns at other Liberians, and we're taking it for a joke. That is why God punishing Liberia. But because of the few good people, the few faithful Liberians, that is why Liberia is still standing today. But when we get our president who will go on the pulpit and preach I don't know what he was preaching, and I see people clapping. And that church was empty. He can't ask himself, say, but where are all these people? Eh? Joshua don't care. Joshua do not care. President Weah don't care. And I want to say this. Yes, we said Joshua should step down. Other people say that was a bad president. We shouldn't say this and that. Yes, but it mean that they were really going to tell him to step down. Joshua had all the opportunity to stop the protest. The people said, listen, if you can just do this, we will not, because we want you to be a good president. When you fail, people will suffer, Mr. President. When you fail, people will suffer. If we shut our mouths and we don't talk, the people will suffer. Because just imagine, we're talking and they're suffering. We're talking and they are suffering already. So tell me, so if we don't talk, if we don't speak out, it's safe for nothing. So we're trying to speak out so you will do the best. We're trying to tell you certain things because maybe you cannot see it. We outside can see it. And you get other Liberians in America. Listen, I want to say it clear today. Liberians who are in America, who supporting George Weah, you are nothing. You got no impact in Liberia. You have no impact. You're not going to vote. You don't go to Liberia. Some of you guys stay here like the other guy who just came back to CDC. He been in this country here. He never went home. He don't even know George Weah because Samuel Tua just talked to him, say, my man, come and help. And today, he bragging about live pitiful 7. He don't even know. Look, I myself, I don't usually get people compared to Henry Costa or other guys who other people. 1 minute, please. 1 minute. Okay, please, I'm going to shut my alarm off because my alarm just came up. 1 minute. Okay, I'm sorry. I had to shut my. I got about 3 different phones in the house there. Sometimes it ring the time they wanted to ring. Okay, now it's what? What time is it? And okay, so people bragging. Oh, I got about 6,000 people watching, viewers. Some people come in and out. So when you see it, you share your video. It's something not about the crowd. Some of them might not get the same crowd, but people watch it. Right now, I'm broadcasting through the LRTN. It's on Twitter right now as I'm talking to you. It's on Facebook right now. So if you go to LRTN, Facebook, and YouTube, you will see it. You go to Twitter, you will see it. And then with Facebook. So it's all we can get. We're trying to put it on a lot of other channels. But this is the new world. We don't have to be there. We don't have to be there. Everybody in life, in an organization, everybody has their role to play. And I gave it to Henry Costa, like when some of my friends say, oh, but Henry Costa know what he was signing up for. This is not an assignment. It's something that within him that he's standing up for. That is good. That is good. But I will say this again. If Bacon Matthews, who supported George Weah in 2005, I don't know if he were alive today, whether he would stand with George Weah. Whether he will really stand with George Weah, because he's the father of democracy. He's the one brought about multi-party. We never struggle. We never struggle for this. George Weah don't understand when it comes to struggling. When politics, how some people went to jail. George Weah, the only opposition that never went to jail. Ellen Johnson went to jail. Everybody went to jail. George Weah never went to jail. Now he wants to suppress people now. Because you see, the same thing I talk about. That my fear here is that if Joshua take over, nobody can criticize Joshua because the guys in Liberia, they're willing right now to do anything. But if Joshua will kill the Liberians, let the blood of the Liberians remain on the head of Joshua. Come January 6th, kill the people, Mr. President. You can go ahead and kill people. You can go. This other stupid kid put on my Facebook, they say, oh, don't mind this man. He put my kids, he put my picture on Facebook. And what I don't understand, why will you attack me when I said that Joshua, he's a bad leader? Why can't you defend Joshua that he's a good leader? Why attack me? So I'm saying it today. I got 3 Facebook pages, and every one of them is filled. The one I'm on right now, when you look on my page, you will see 5,000. And I got over 3,000 and more waiting. They now request for friendship. I don't really remember myself requesting. The only time I request for friendship when I know you like that. And so most of you guys, the last time I remember, you're the one requested for friendship. So I'm not going to waste my time with you. When you try to attack me, I don't want to get in the mud with you. I got more to lose to argue with fools, to start insulting. What I do, I block you. I will block you, and that's it. It's simple. You're not feeding me. I'm not feeding you. I got nothing to do with your life. You have nothing to do with my life. So I'm not going to waste my time. I got a lot of friends that want to come over. We can disagree, but when I say George, we are a bad leader, don't tell me you're stupid, man. Your family, this and that. You're damn Lebanese, you this and that. Why are you insulting me? When I say we'll go to protest, no, take you and your family, go to Liberia and protest. Is that an argument between myself? Is that an argument? And sedition, you live in America, I live in America. I disagree with Joshua. I'm criticizing Joshua. Why can't you go home? Go home if you know that things are good. Go home. Don't just sit on Facebook and be telling us that we should wrap our hands around the president. You can pray from now to Judgment Day. There will be nothing good coming to Liberia. That's not how God do it. You pray and you work. You can pray from now to Judgment Day. But guess what's happening? Because we're praying, that is why God continues to expose this government. Because of us praying. Because of other people praying for Liberia. God said, I will expose them. Because you don't understand. You don't understand. The Bible says, what the people say when they got ready, they say, Saul killed 10,000 and David killed 10,000. David only killed Goliath. And David's name was all over the town. Yes. Our president is acting as if he's Pharaoh. He don't understand. There's a lady who supported Joshua. She's a prayer woman, Florence Brown. This woman spoke and said, God is using Henry Custom to teach Mr. Weir sense that he will change. But do you think he will change? No. Every pastor in our country spoke to Joshua, Mr. President, you need to behave as father of this nation. This president refuses. Refuse. Mr. President, you need to do this. The client chief, the parliament chief, they came together. Mr. President, you need to do this. That was for nothing. They had an economic dialogue. They put proposal together for nothing. This president wanted to print $4 billion. They gave him the green light. $16 billion got missing. The legislatures never investigated. $25 million were put in. It was never approved, and he did it. Now, this president got everything in his corner to make it right. Liberians are people who easy to deal with, quick to forget, quick to forgive. If Liberians can sit in that country today with George Boley, Prince Johnson, Alhaji Kuruma, and even they make Charles Taylor president, if George Weir come out today and make a decision, you tell the people, they will hear it in, you go to your annual message and make changes at your annual message? No, Mr. President. No. You got incompetent people. It's not because some of them got degrees. Getting degree made to be qualified. You can get an MBA in finance. They mean that you're a financial man. Maybe you just got it and some of them never work in the field. So you see, so these are all the situations. That's what making this government not going forward. While other countries, you got agriculture, you need mega agriculture, you need a real agriculture and production in Liberia. Not the get the farmer then hold and go start digging. You need reality. They got carry. They got all the research things they're bringing up. You got the Minister of Agriculture interfering into carry matters and keeping someone who are Nigerian, making all that money from water, they write something and they making all that money. While Liberians there are not doing anything. You got an agriculture minister who got no idea about agriculture. No ideas. No ideas. We speak out. My sister work with agriculture ministry. We will speak out. You want to find my sister? Fine. But in this life, we must stand up. It's not for us anymore. It's for the other Liberians. It's for the young Liberians who just graduated from college and don't know how they're going to start their life. There are young Liberians who are struggling. They don't know how they're going to make it. There is no future for our young children. The only thing now is they fight to get in government. And their role models are all criminals. That's all they do. Then you want us to sit back and say, oh yes, we'll just wait for Joshua 12 years to be over because Ellie went 12 years, so let Joshua go 12 years. That's not how it works. It don't work that way. You messed up, Mr. President. You messed up big time. All the people who supported you from the second round, they have left you. Look at the stadium. July 26th, you just left from that stadium and had one of the biggest inauguration in the history, I can say, of the world. But Mr. President, no, not of the world, in Africa, because you won't beat Barack on yet. So everybody came from around the world to watch you, to see you on that day. You went back there because the president loved the crowd. You went back July 26th. And you were surrounded by a bunch of criminals. They were all there lying to you until you delayed the program to start late because there was nobody going to the place there. Look at CDC. At CDC head office, the divine rest on New Year's, on Christmas Eve. The place is empty. Christmas Eve, the place empty. You go other places. When the last time you went to your own headquarters? You abandon your own people. There's other seditionists who in America, who ain't got nothing to do, who still struggling that Joshua might give them something or send money for them, like what they just did a few days when they went to go rally in New York, in Washington, D.C. They raised almost $20,000 and they can give account today. But they were all on Facebook here asking COP for account. Oh, you give us information. Oh, you're a crook. But you just received $20,000. You raised almost over $10,000 from GoFundMe, and then they gave you money from Liberia. And what you did, you were 27 in Washington, D.C. After that, you went to this hall, you got drunk, and everybody came back home with no reports. There was a difference. And what is the difference? You got a bunch of losers. All you do, it was insult people. You would try, like this guy who just came back. I don't even want to call his name. He's on Costa 24/7. How he know Costa? And that's a lie. He don't know Costa from nowhere. He pretend. Randy, you pretending as if you know Henry Costa, but you don't know Henry Costa. You gave him you say Henry Costa bought or transmitter on the black market. So he bought a used frequency from somebody you say you know. So what part they got to do with you and Costa? What part? Costa is smarter than you. You can get your engineer degree, but Costa is smarter than you. Costa more know life than you. He's 37 years old, but he's smarter than you. So you spend your time on Facebook talking about Costa when you got a president who using country resources, but you say Henry Costa is a crook. You look at your friend, your little boy, your Peking, at Freedom FM, giving false information. We sitting there, Freedom FM, inciting and creating chaos in the country. Nobody see nothing about it. They lying. They get the information about because Henry Costa went to what the place needs Tropicana. All kinds of information. You said that Newver told the government that, oh, Costa received $200,000. Government officials, come out and tell us if Henry Costa received $200,000 from you so we can test on Henry Costa. Tell us. Or go to Newver, political prostitute Newver, who was once representative for District 8, and he failed the people, and they kicked his butt out. Ellen gave him job. Now Ellen government is over. He don't know where to go. He came to the COP, start to record. But the biggest mistake they made, they should have published his name. He's a traitor. But anyway, traitor can survive in Liberia because you got Eugene Namwe, who was a traitor. He still survived. So Newver doing the same thing. Talk about ICOP. Is there any ICOP in our country? Government sponsoring you. But you see how they fight against each other? You see, this man said somebody in Joshua government gave Henry Costa 4 guys $200,000. But not Joshua giving her. Because at the Good Samaritan, they took. So come out and challenge this government. If Henry Costa received money from you, come out and tell us. Come with a proof and say it. Don't let no sycophant, no stupid one call himself Newver who looking for something to do. He still get the ambassador title because he's chief of protocol, still looking for something to do. And I like the way Henry Costa treats him. I like the way Henry Costa treats him because the fact is that you need to call their names. They are political prostitutes. They jump from place to place. Librarians are supposed to be smart. And some of you guys who were supporting their protest, and you got information on such stupid information, do your own investigation, please. And Seku, do your own investigation next time. George Lobo, please, you guys, listen. That is what the oppositions, this ruling party looking for. Not every information. The worst place to get information is from Liberians. I will tell you, y'all don't understand Liberians. When somebody tell you they saw money down the street, a policeman will hang up on him, be careful before you put yourself in trouble. You can't just go and start announcing. Some people came. When I saw the letter that night, I still remember there's a guy myself on. I said, that's not real letter. That's not true. But then when I put the phone down, I start to do my own research. I said, oh, but this thing is from the embassy. It got nothing to do with the embassy opening. And just to find out, I called Liberia that same day, that same time. I text Darius Dillon and whatsoever. And I got the information. Yes, that was it. But everybody said, oh, that lie, like Henry Costa there, that other poor woman, and Henry Costa, and say he pretended as if, why should a man risk his life to pretend? Why should a man take money from government and still criticizing the government? How can a man take money from government and still bringing information about this government? Why Liberians we hard to understand? And Henry Costa don't need to do what he's doing. Let us be fair with each other. Henry Costa got nothing to do. What he's doing right now, he don't need to do it. That waste of time. He can go about his business. Everybody go about their business. But I'm saying that if Liberians don't stand up, you will feed it. Some of us say, God bless also. Let me tell you the real truth. We're not bragging about it. But God put us in a place where he can take us tomorrow, but at least we can work and get paid. At least we can still help people. But nobody's going to be wasting the time on you guys because that means you are just cowards. If you don't come out in the numbers, that they should understand that this thing here is about Liberia. It's not about Joshua. It's not about Henry Costa. It's not about Darius Dillon. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about Liberia. It is time that Liberians try to get on the right path. This is the time. It will not happen now, but we'll work on it. This thing we're doing, if you look at Liberia yesterday and today, they're not the same anymore. When I tell you now, today, the corruption in Liberia have dropped maybe 0.01%. Yes. Because everybody afraid to steal. In fact, the money not there right now. But they're afraid to steal. Even Joshua himself right now, he worried how to travel. Yes. So the talking that we're doing, no more war, Nobody looking for war. But guess what? Because the people of the citizen of the war don't want no military. The people have realized that if this guy can come to me to vote for him, and if he's not, I got to chastise him. If he's not doing it the right way, I can tell him to resign. So that's what the citizens are doing. They're not tell you to leave and they take over. No. But bad leadership. When the leader don't have no vision, I will say it today and I will be proud to say it. George Weah is the most successful Liberian. What he learned, he went through soccer and became the world best player. They put him into politics. They got people that are qualified. They got people who've been in politics for so long. They have been trying. They tried. They can't even win Senate, representative. They tried. George Weah became president of Liberia. We accept that. But George Weah will go down in history as one of the worst presidents ever in Liberia. George Weah is a bad leader. But still, you don't believe him. George Weah speaks according to the crowd. He loves his comfortable crowd. If George Weah can use the Bible, use the pulpit, and talk about racketeers, talk about people envy him. Nobody envy the name called George Weah. We envy and we jealous and we are pissed off with the work of the president. I don't know who's the president of Liberia. I don't want to know who's the president of Liberia. I don't need to know you to vote for you. I just need to know what you can do. I just want to know what you will do and what you can do for the Liberian people. That's all. So I don't need to look. If everybody will get that mindset, they will be a good place. And it's not easy to get that mindset. Because Liberia being in a place where it's just like a farm. All our past officials been doing it, so now we think it's okay. That's not what CDC was funded for. CDC was funded by the masses because the masses have been marginalized for so long. Just to find out our own people, our own men took it. That was something I was just sitting thinking. I said, if George Weah was not going to play football, I wonder what he was going to be doing. Yes. Because there are a lot of Liberians in Liberia, former football players, who never went to school. When I say went to school, they went to school, but they planned to do nothing. They were just playing soccer until they mess up everything. And I see how they walk in the street today. But God bless him. God gave him what to live on. But he don't have it. He don't have that leadership ability, President Weah. President Weah don't have it. Let us stop doing this thing to each other. You criticize Weah, you got some person insulting you. You criticize Weah, you get other people doing things out of the way. But look, Liberia is all we have. The international community will not do nothing to no Liberians. They just want to see if you can stand up for yourself. They have tried. They know. They complain. They wrote the president. You use the donor money. You use this other money for this and that. You got people in the place that turn to beggars. You close school down on time. You close it down. Oh, there will be no classes, this and that. You don't care about your citizen. You don't care about your citizen, Mr. President. That is the wrong thing that you're doing. You don't care. We'll take few seconds break, and I will be back. This is the LRTN, and this is the show of the General Conversation with the General. My name is Munel Kishen. This is my view. This has nothing to do with the network. This has nothing to do with LRTN. I got a spot on LRTN that I use, and I also use my personal page. But you can log onto LRTN anytime. This is a Liberian and base radio and television network. And we're also in Liberia. And we cover other programs and other things. So you'll be seeing more programs on this network. We are trying it. We still going through. We are struggling, but be a part of this network. Share it. Give it to people. Let us be. But what I just said is my view. I stand by what I say. If I give wrong information, I will correct it. I'm not afraid or ashamed to tell you that I cannot make mistakes. I am. Mistake is not allowed to be made, but if it is made, it's a mistake. So I want to take this time, and I will be taking a short break, and I will come back. So I will leave you with this, and President Weah's favorite and song that he said he jumped over. But while he was jumping over it, the seditionists were they were digging hole behind this president. So I'll be back.
I said if I've been on, do it for the boy. It's never not be do it for the boy. I said if I've been on, do it for the boy. I said the woman on, do it for the boy. I said if I've been on, do it for the boy. I said the woman on, do it for the boy. I said if I've been on, do it for the boy.
D12,
I said the woman on, do it
all
for
the
the boy.
people wishing me bad, get them away. All the people wishing my downfall, get them slow way. Get them away. Yeah. Baba people, get them slow way. Yeah. You swat destroy their plans. We get people, clip or destroy their plans. I send them fire, 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 yeah. Spread them holy water, yeah. Enemies in my family, enemies in my school, enemies at my job site, enemies everywhere, enemies in my backyard. Every day them playing me juju. Other people wishing me bad, get them away. Other people wishing my downfall, get them slow way, get them away. Baba people, get them slow way. When I show face, Baba people running away. When I show face, we get people hard in the face. When I show face, it's your body 12 on the beat, making the people them feeling the heat. The 12 on the beat, I'm making the people them stomping the feet. I make it hot like a fire. I'm not cursing desire. Bring my bottle of Hennessy, let the Judah wine it for me. Let them jaggle for me, yeah. Other people wishing me bad, get them away. Other people wishing my downfall, get them slow way. Get them away, yeah. Baba people, get them slow way, yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'm back. I'm looking at some of the comments here. And Christopher Tobasi, when you see sedition speaking, it's so funny that some of us will try our best, but we're not hiding it. We against the bad governance, the bad leadership of this president. That is what we're against. But this guy said Henry Costa is so toxic, he poisonous and venomous, too dangerous, too destructive, too harmful, too unsafe, too for anybody or any government to work with or hire. Mr. President, do not bring this man. Listen, you see, y'all don't know about George Weah. Everything people say about Henry Costa is not proven. Librarians will know how to speculate. So that's why, that's why he don't read some of the comments, because it make no sense. And then you get the same Christopher Tobasi again wrote, he said, if you claim to be in the interests of the people, then why do you want to protest during business hours and all weekdays? So you prefer our people and country losing revenue on January 6th. Wow. You see, Tobias, let me tell you today. These are some of the questions. These are some of the response. It make no sense because you love Liberia. You see, you guys are cowards. Cowards die many times before their deaths because you don't want government to lose business. So don't protest. Just wait for George Weah time to be over, and then we will bring the next person in. That is why Liberia been backward. Because our forefathers closed their mouths, they take pay, they gave them a bag of rice, and they say nothing. And everybody just go about their business. So let us just forget it. You think that's how it works? If you live in America today, do you know what gave you the rights in this country? A black man to vote, that you come in this country today, you are citizen of Liberia? Do you know? Because the people protest. They stood up, they asked for it, and they got the right. It was only white people country. It was only for whites. But today, because they argue, they protested, they stood up for something. Martin Luther King, other guys. Before, that was not Martin, other people before Martin Luther King. Gandhi from India, all the guys stood up. And at that time, there was no social media. Just imagine there was no social media at the time. They stood up to government. The people got killed. Nelson Mandela, 27 years in jail. He refused to give up. He refused. He stood his ground. You see that? So saying that the people should, you already in a water. Why were you worried about sweating when you already in water? Why were you worried? They say dog can sweat, but you don't know because of the fur they hair that on the skin. So your analogy and whatsoever is wrong. It got nothing to do with our Liberian people. Our Liberian people suffering already. It is suffering already. So even they collect taxes, they still not taking pay. So what is the difference? You know the society say the men are down, fear no fall. When you live in a glass house, don't throw stones. That's it. Yes, and oh, Reverend Body, how are you, Reverend Body? Thanks for your good work in Liberia. And you're a patriot. You love that country. That's why you make sure that people go there and you're doing the work that God, the heart and good mind that God gave you, and you can help your people. So you see, and Paul Lavla, thanks for watching. And Sis Annie and Deborah, how are you, man? And you get Lamine Famule. The situation in Liberia is okay. Going to get worse. If Joel don't start taking action, if Joel don't start taking action on addressing the issues affecting the people. You are right, Lamine. If Joshua don't take action, but my friend, I will tell you today, I say every day the ball is in the court of Joshua. Joshua right now bouncing the ball. Nobody attacking him. He only need to make the basket. The burden of proof is on Joshua, not on me, not on you. But people don't understand. We gave Joshua the responsibility to lead this country. We asked Joshua to come up with his vision. But when the leader don't have vision, the nation perish, my people. That's the Bible saying that. That's what the Bible said. That's not me. I will look for something here and put up there for you guys to see. You know, Joshua said he read the Bible all the time. That's what he said. He's a pastor. But if Joshua a pastor, he's supposed to be able to get a lot of wisdom from the Bible. That is where you find it. That little book is so small, but that is where Joshua, that is where you can find wisdom. Wisdom don't just come from the sky. You don't go to school to get wisdom. You don't go to school for that. No. Yeah. So we must stand up. We must stand up to George Weah. Yes, it is our right. By governance, we need to do that. We need it. And so don't forget, just make sure you come out on June 6th and show yourself. Show yourself to this president that, listen, Mr. President, enough is enough.